What's up, man? Satchel again. I've actually been here for about a day and a half. Yeah, I got locked here. There's a room down here in the Guitar World studios, and here in Bakersfield, California. It's underneath a building. It's out in the middle of the desert. It's really very difficult to find, and the guys went to go get me a couple beers, and they left me down here with the camera on. So I wrote the next Steel Panther record, Steel Panther 4. It's actually tentative title for that record is Can't Catch Herpes Twice. We were going to use that on the third record, but it was such a good title, kept it for the fourth record. So it'll be like our Led Zeppelin 4, except it won't be Led Zeppelin, it'll be Steel Panther. So it'll be even better. So guess what? We're going over 10 strikes you're out today. 10 strikes, you're out. I know what you're thinking, Satchel, isn't it supposed to be 3 strikes you're out? It used to be 3 strikes you're out back in the old days. But now we live in a different age, kids, okay? People have very short attention spans. We're inundated with new apps every day. Girls, listen, when you go out with a girl, I don't go out with girls because they just come to me, pick them up after the show is done, and get on them. But a lot of guys are looking for girlfriends out there, and listen, you got to give them a little bit of leeway. Okay, you know, most girls are not super bright. You know, I know it sounds like a sexist thing to say, but you got to give them a little leeway. I mean, they're going to make mistakes, you know, and it used to be 3 strikes, but if you give them 3 strikes now, you're going to be done with them in the first 5 minutes, I'm telling you. So this song is about 10, you know, learning to grow in your relationship. Like, that's what you want, huh? You're just a kid. Go play the field a little bit. Get it? Play the field. That was a baseball reference. 10 strikes, you're out. That was a baseball reference. A lot of baseball, a lot of Americana going on here. I know what you're thinking. Satchel's pretty high right now. He's just rambling. Maybe you're right. But right now, I'm going to show you 10 strikes, you're out. The riff. You remember this one? When you were 19 and this record came out? That inspired a whole generation of rock guitar players. Smoke on the Water. That's basically what I'm ripping it off from. You know, you got your G and your D string right there, and you don't have to use this whole guitar to play chords and rhythms and stuff. Sometimes you can do a lot with just 2 strings. And that's what I'm doing here on 10 Strikes You're Out. Little boogie woogie kind of shuffle, ZZ Top, little Van Halen in there. And I really like this song because it pretty much expresses a lot of my angst about relationships. And I know if you're over 10 years old, you can probably relate to me because girls can start to drive you crazy at a pretty young age. And but this riff right here, a little bit of sliding going on between the 5th and the 6th fret. That's probably the hardest part of it. I think it's really about the metronome, guys. The metronome, all right? If you don't have a metronome at home, what you need to do is buy a metronome or a drum machine or borrow your sister's iPhone or iPad and download the free metronome app. You know how many free metronome apps there are? I counted them. 423,917 free metronome apps. That means you can find one with a nice, clear sound, something like this, to jam to. And trust me, you're gonna wanna do it because I know what you're thinking. Satchel, my time is perfect. I don't need a free metronome app. But guess what? You're all over the road, pal, all right? Your drummer's like looking at you like you're high on crack. You need to get on that stuff, okay? When you're not playing to a metronome, you might think that you're in time, but you're probably not. So the metronome is it's your best friend. And that's how you get gigs. And when you get gigs, that's when you go out and you get chicks after the show. then you don't need a girlfriend. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So that's the riff right there. Practice that. The rest of the song, pretty simple. There's a lot of space actually. So I usually hold that chord and let the drummer and the bass cruise for a little while on that. Listen to the record. It already went triple platinum over in Singapore. I know the platinum's a little bit lower over there, but doing really good in Singapore. Gonna hit that place later on this year for a tour. But I want to go over the solo too, and I know you're dying to do that with me. Let me show you the rhythm part for the solo real quick. So let's talk about the rhythm over the solo. Actually, on the record, there's like a B3 playing this chord part. And then the rhythm guitars are going. That's basically the rhythm. And so I don't have to, I didn't actually play that at the same time, but I did it so you can hear the chord underneath what I'm doing on the solo. The solo, that's not an easy rhythm, by the way. It's really easy to rush. So this is why it's good to get a metronome, you know, because it keeps you in check. When you're doing a rhythm like that, it's very easy to start pushing the beat. Hey, I'm going too fast. It's easy to do when you're as high as I am, but you know what? It's something you need a metronome for. Go buy a metronome. You know what? You can get a great metronome for 99 cents on your mom's iPhone. So go do it right now and don't come back and press pause until you got the metronome. Anyway, the solo, it's actually really simple, most of it. It's just hitting the chord tones that are moving on the keyboard part, on the B3. The fifth that moves to the flat fifth moves to the fourth, which is basically the 4 chord, back to the flat fifth with that A in the root the whole time, that's the sound of metal right there, guys. That's old school. That's, you know, George Lynch. A lot of classic metal is based on that tritone right there. And the solo in this song is I'm basically hitting those chord tones the first few bars of the solo. It's just which is very simple but very effective because that's such a bitchin' note. right here. Then I move up and do what sounds probably really complicated when you hear it. It goes by so quick, but it's basically a diminished arpeggio, and it repeats itself going up the neck. It's this shape starting on the D string. It's 2 notes on the D string, the 10th fret and the 13th fret, then the 11th fret on the G string, and then the 10th and the 13th fret on the B string. And then I move up to the next string starting on the G and do the 11th fret and the 14th fret and the 13th fret on the B string. And then once again, the 11th and the 14th fret on the high E string. And then I move that shape up and start on the 14th fret and do the same exact shape. So I got this. So you got that shape, which sounds more complicated than it is as far as a visual, something to visualize on the neck. It's not quite as scary when you see it. But it is something you need to practice getting clean, because it's very easy to get sloppy, especially when you're as drunk as I am right now. So remember to go slow. I'm basically hammering on that first 2 notes and then sweep picking the next 2 notes. So I'm doing 2 downstrokes and then an upstroke. So it's down, down, up. And doing the same thing on the next pattern. And then I'm bending 3 half steps right there. And then hitting that evil tritone note, the flat 5th or the sharp 4. And putting the vibrato on heavy right there. This is where all that vibrato practice that you've been doing while you're on the toilet with your guitar comes in, it pays off right here on this note. So you go. Then I'm just doing the same thing up an octave higher that I did in the beginning of the solo. Hitting those moving chord tones right there. Then I got a little bluesy pentatonic based riff. And then I finish the solo off with a pentatonic hammer-on type lick. It's a pretty easy shape. Now I'm going to do this slow for you because it's really just these notes. So that's it. I'm going to go as slow as I can, which is not easy for me. So that's it right there. But it's a real simple shape. It's all pentatonic. And right here, it's all on the, what fret is that? 12th, 15th, 17th fret. All of these notes. right down the 17th fret right there. The only thing you need to think of is where you're on the, right in the middle here, it's gonna change from the 15th fret to the 14th fret. So that's gonna go. And that's it. And that's the end of the solo, and that's one of the coolest solos you're ever gonna hear out of me, because it's not gonna get any cooler than that. And I love you. Thanks for, wake up, kiddo. Lesson's over.